I'm like, do I need to do a wee? Do I look skinny? Hey, sweetheart. Oh my god, fussy. Bitch.
I haven't even thought about any intro or anything, babe.
I thought about nothing. Can you take the dogs and put them in the bedroom? I just can't be bothered with them. We love you, you're beautiful, but go away. Do I look skinny? So introduce me. Don't be so rude.
Oh god, you're putting me on the spot.
I'm just making sure I'm not first.
I think I haven't said to you this about this one. So when I first saw you, I was like, you see one of those pretentious Indian who is born here, grew up here, want to be like, because I had not known you. Like, but then obviously we got introduced through Shay, and then I met you. Like, oh, nah, he's actually fun. He's like me. He's like a shady ass, silly, funny. No one doesn't take himself serious, and I think that's why we get along way well.
Oh, I mean, I probably can be pretentious.
Well, honey,
I probably am all of those things. I just hide it to your face.
possibly.
No. Yeah, I mean, I first came across you through the Indian origin pride work through Shay.
Yeah,
and he's got good taste in people. And we hadn't met, but we were organising that event together, launch event, Parliament event. And it's so interesting, isn't it? Because like, it's like the way you perceive someone in kind of like a semi-professional setting, and the way also you perceive like cultures, you know, because like I grew up here in New Zealand, and you know, even I think New Zealanders, I really think like, and we New Zealanders see people that have migrated to New Zealand more recently just differently. Yeah. Like we just do innately. And because you know your own. But I feel the same way. Like you are just so fucking fun that it's quite infectious. And I think your EQ is amazing. You have so much empathy. I feel like you kind of like, there's a spectrum of Sam, and the spectrum is like, you know, it darts from fun party vibes to being a really caring friend vibes to being super empathetic when something's happened and it's big in somebody's life to needing to cook for them because that is your love language, to your work professional self and your real strategic thinking brain. All of that stuff clicks in when it needs to. I just think you're a really well-rounded person.
It's interesting. That's good to hear.
I'm sorry if I'm ever pretentious.
No, you're not. But yeah, as I said, like it's something that is ingrained in us. Yeah, I think it's one of the bad qualities we have. Where it's like we judge the book by its cover, right? Yeah. In general, but then when it comes to Indian culture, the societal, I'm not sure whether it was the same here for you growing up, but for us, I can talk immigrants, that's quite common. It's like, because it's all about status, it's all about how you perceive in the society, in the extended family or everything. So it's not intentionally, but unintentionally has ingrained in yourself. So that becomes your go-to thing. Yeah, I mean, I feel like when I meet new people, I often, like one of the key things I do, and I don't do this intentionally, it's probably quite a bad trait, but I think, is that person a threat to me? Oh, okay. Yeah, and I think it's, do you know what? I don't think I'm generally threatened by people. But when I say threat, I mean like, you kind of live life as a brown person, as a rainbow person, as all your other intersectionalities, and so everything feels like a threat sometimes. True. And so I just kind of like go, okay, what's this person going to say about me that's going to upset me, or what's this person going to, how are they going to look at me and perceive me, and how do I have to react to that? And it's like, it's a bad thing, but it becomes quite a natural thing that I just do, and I don't like it. And it's not that my brain goes, oh my God, that person's a threat target. It's just like, okay, how are we going to interact? How are we going to get on? And, people would say I'm like quite bubbly and confident and all those things. But actually, deep down inside, I'm not.
I get to that point, but it takes me a split second to realize that.
Yeah. I think it's for me as well as like, I know people have said I'm like confident in everything, but there's so many things that are inside going on that only I would know. Like, it's interesting to know what people think about you. At least for me recently, I'm like thinking like, oh, actually people like me. So whereas I've always doubted myself.
Yeah.
And whether I'm a people pleaser and liking.
Do you think you're a people pleaser? I'm asking you this because I have my own view on it.
I think I'm a people pleaser.
Okay.
But as I said, reflecting on it, very recently I'm putting myself first.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And that's really hard to do.
It's hard to do, especially coming from an Indian background. It's about looking after others, your family, your extended family, and always it's your people first. That's kind of inbuilt, right? So, but recently, like, I think I should put myself first as well.
Yeah, good. Well, I know I asked you that question because I have a view on it.
What's your view?
My view is like, I actually think you are a really good balance. Like, I think people just genuinely love you. They love to be around you. Like, that's what I notice. And especially when I see you and we're somewhere, like, and I know we're good friends now, I just want to be there in your company.
Yeah.
And so, if anything that you think you're people pleasing, I think it's because you're caring, you know?
Sure.
And like you could just tell that. That might be a cultural thing as well. I see what you mean. But I just genuinely think you're really caring. And I feel like I know that because I've seen you in action. Like, I've seen you with the charity work we do together.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. But like, I see the care you bring to it, but also the real, like, that real strategic brain and that thinking, and then the cutthroat decisions that we have to make sometimes. We have to do this, don't do that. We don't have the time. Stop it. Move on. That stuff. So I feel like if you're navigating that, like, say no more often. I'm trying to do the same thing too.
Because I know you always say yes as well.
Yeah.
Particularly with our charity work, you like to get things done, so you take on a lot.
It's hard to slow down that way. It's like, you know, maybe deep down we're creatives. Like, I know I am deep down, and you see the vision, and you're just like, all of this can be achieved. And that's my problem, is just trying to just like slow down and go, actually, you can achieve that stuff, but maybe sometimes give yourself a year or 5 years. Like, you know, you don't have to do it all next week. But there's a lesson. I'm trying to work on that, but I think I'll get there.
We'll get there.
So let's talk about what we're wearing.
Okay.
I feel like we are both wearing our personalities.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is what you're wearing is my personality on the inside.
Okay.
But I don't necessarily show it on the outside. I just think you always look immaculate. Everything you wear, you're so stylish and so on brand for Sam. And I just think, fuck, it's kind of who I want to be.
Yeah.
But there's just things that hold me back from that in my personal life. I don't know what it is, but I just wish I was more me a lot of the time.
You can be, and you are. But I think that struggle is between you and yourself, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
but also like my family, for example. Like, I don't know. This is me. That's like actually quite conservative.
Okay.
And oh my god, I'm the first to tell dick jokes and the first to just try and make people laugh and say ridiculous things and do ridiculous things and have too much tequila or whatever. But then there's this like conservative me that's not like, I don't know. Okay. I'm just like, maybe I just don't have the confidence to pull it off.
I think that will change only. The only person that could change is you.
Right.
For me, I think growing up, I always wanted to not be different, but I wanted to try things. But I always got knocked down, especially growing up in India, high school, most of high school, college time, getting bullied for being slightly different. And so I was afraid. Like, I remember one time in bachelor's degree in Goa, which is more a kind of diverse because it has European tourists and everyone coming. So I wore a pink shirt, like a pink t-shirt, like a long one. But everyone in the college were like, oh, he's wearing pink, and like, made a lot of fun and joke.
So you were in the closet then?
Yeah, I was in the closet. But pretty much most of my life got bullied for being a little bit femme, spending more time with girls rather than the boys, not being that masculine that Indian masculine boys demanded, at least in my generation, that was the case. So most of my life got words that are like derogative at the still are derivative. So in one way, it was like that worry of like, I want to try, but also I don't want to try kind of a thing. So that conflict was throughout most of my life. It went on for a long time. And even when I came here to New Zealand almost 15 years ago, still a little bit in the closet. But I think about 2 years in New Zealand, I said, you know what, F this shit. If I see myself in the mirror, the way how I dress, if I'm comfortable, I'm going to wear it. Doesn't matter if people like it or not. I'm not wearing it for someone else. I'm wearing it for myself. It took me time, a lot of time. But I know still people sometimes give me looks, things and everything for things that I wear. But that's who I am, and like I'm not going to change. Like, and like these pearls are like very recent. Like I'm in love wearing pearls. Like and
I also have pearls that I bought up in New York when I was there last year, and I wore them to a couple of parties, and they're great. And the way they make you feel is beautiful. It is. But isn't it funny? Like, we worry so much about ourselves and things. Some worry more than others.
Yeah.
But like, there's a whole trend at gyms of like straight gym bros wearing pearls.
Exactly.
What the fuck is that about?
Exactly. That's the hypocrisy sometimes I don't like. Is like, it's okay for a straight group of people to do X and Y, that's acceptable. But if it was done by a queer person, that's too much.
Yeah, I know.
So
and this is the thing that I think I struggle with, and that why I'm kind of like, well, there's the party me, and then there's the day-to-day me, which is maybe more conservative or whatever. Is like that narrative that like, oh, you're gay, but you don't want to be too gay.
Yeah.
Do you know? And that's the problem that I have, particularly even people that are close to me, close to around me, that, will make comments like that still. And even though they're my biggest supporters, but they'll be like, oh, you're gay, but you're not too gay. Oh, yeah. And it's like, what the fuck is that about?
Exactly. On a similar note, and we can talk about this a bit later, is you're Indian, but you're not Indian. That's commonly heard phrase for me. Like, oh, you don't look too Indian. It's like, what do you want me to wear? Like a big dot in my head?
Yeah, oh, wait. Wait. I've got something perfect for this. Now you are going to be full.
You're going to ruin my... There you go. Do I need to wear this every day and walk and shake my head?
I think you're going to wear that to the office tomorrow.
Gay but not too gay is commonly heard as well. So people are going to say whatever they want to say, because irrespective of whether they'll say good thing, you're doing good things, they'll talk about it. You're doing bad thing, they'll talk about it. So what's the point in giving power to them?
You're right though, eh? Yeah. Like you can give power to those people.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point. If people have made their decision, they've made their decision.
Exactly. And for you, would you talk about your being the two sides of being conservative and being gay kind of thing? I don't think that can coexist. It just, you have to find that the balance where what it fits for you, not for anyone else, for you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it for me, I grew up here in New Zealand, and when I was age 21 onwards, I was on the television here.
Yeah.
And I was on the television for a good, I think, eight years or something. And then I went to London and was at the BBC there, and I think that kind of came with this like restriction, because that was when I first started. It was suit and tie on the television, right, as a news reporter, and but then what comes with that is being one of the very few brown faces on the television, and one of the only Indian faces on the television. Yeah. Everyone in the country gets to know you, because you always you resonate with people that look like you or have a similarity, and that person's part of our community. So I had to do all of that and I felt like I had to be a bit of a poster boy, an Indian poster boy for the Indian community here in New Zealand. And that was kind of hard, actually, because it's really restrictive. And I think that just leads you into this like natural state of like, I shouldn't put a foot wrong, you know? But I haven't done that, been on TV for a long, long time now. And oh my God, I love it. I love just like the freedom.
Yeah, it is. But see it in a way that how many people you have inspired, like how many younger brown kids found you as an inspiration. You still are an inspiration, and found you as an, oh yeah, I can see a brown person on a TV doing a reporting, live TV reporting. I could be one of them.
Yeah, well, this is an interesting point.
Yeah,
because, and we can both speak to this. Yes, because I think there is extreme lack of diversity in mainstream spaces in our media. And sometimes when you see that diversity, it's stereotypical. You see an Indian guy on a television ad, he's the guy serving milk to the white child on television.
Or a banker.
Or the bank,
or IT.
Yeah.
Or a delivery guy.
I think there was I'm not going to say the name, there was a fried chicken company. And the advert was a Pacific Island woman. If there's something I've inspired people, it's actually not being the guy on TV or whatever, brown guy. It's actually having the courage to come out if you're from an ethnic community.
That's a whole thing. We would need to talk about that.
Oh God, yeah. Well, wait, do you want to talk to me about yours?
For me, like, I haven't come out officially like the way how you have, like, you know, because you are a public figure. For me, when I came out to just my parents in my immediate family. Prior to that, I've come out to my close friends in India, and then when I moved here, I came out to a few of my straight friends. And at work, I've always been, ever since I moved here, I've always been open about my sexuality. It took me a long time to come out to my parents, 28. Probably I think it was 29, I think I was, when I came out to my parents.
Can I ask how that went?
It went better than what I expected, I thought. I was prepared for it to go to really sour. And I was ready to accept that my family will disown me, they won't talk to me. I knew my mother would come around eventually. I was very sure about my dad and my brother not accepting it, because my dad was from a police background, police for entire life, very this Indian macho mentality kind of a thing. Dad and my brother has also kind of similar in a way of his thinking and everything. The other biggest worry that I had was my family wouldn't understand what homosexuality is. Because in India there's that set perception and notion of, if you say, now it's different, but for my generation and time when I was coming out, I think if someone says they're homosexual, the immediate comparison was, oh, you're a transgender. You're a man but want to be a woman. You're a transgender. Because we have a huge population of transgender in India. You are directly associated. Oh, you're a chakka, you're a hijra, or you're a eunuch. So the way I came out was like, I wrote a letter to my parents, posted it like old school way.
Were you in the same city as them?
No, I'm here.
You're in New Zealand.
I'm in New Zealand, Auckland, and I posted it to India. So obviously by post, it took about 10 days to go. So I clearly remember done that and everything. I was going to a social gathering, a barbecue to a friend's place. We were in the car. We stopped to get some drinks. And then as soon as I got back into the car, the phone rang, and my mom was like, but I did not even click because I was in that mode of like, oh, I'm the barbecue. I'm going to go social drinks.
I'm getting anxious hearing this story.
So mom said hi, hello, and I said, how are you? And my mom's response was like, you tell us, how are you? Because you're the one who wrote the letter. I was like, holy shit, like, oh, this is happening now. Oh God. And I'm in the car having this full-on conversation. None of my friends understand the language, but they understood the situation because there's a
universal kind of feeling and
tone, and it was tense. So my mom's first few words were like, why did this happen to us? What did we do wrong? Why couldn't we fix this? And or to an extent where she said, if we had known this before, we could have shown to a doctor, like, you know. And I'm like, Mom, I'm not sick, like, you know, like to show a doctor. So the usual happened. She cried, I cried, we were just going on all of this. And I said, sorry for the whole thing. Like, and my mom said, why are you saying sorry? She said, you're my son, no matter what it is, I love you. And I think that's where, like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that thing. So few lucky ones that my coming out story to my parents was on a good note, good side, rather than the stories that I've heard, and especially within our community, so many stories that we've heard.
I was going to say, you have to look for the hope, right?
Yeah.
Because while there might be 10 things that sound like they're not going well, it's that one thing, you're our son, we love you. Exactly. And we have to remember that, like, we get to take time to come to terms with being gay or rainbow, whatever we are. We get to take time to a point where we're okay to then say it. And others that we tell learn it for the first time. And they think they know us.
Yeah.
But the key foundation to that is your mum saying, you're our son.
Yeah.
We love you.
Yeah. That's one thing you need. And then the second surprise was my brother. My brother took the phone and he said, don't worry about mom and dad. I will look after them. You look after yourself. And I wasn't expecting that from my brother. But we did decide as a family not to tell my father full story, because he had health issues and everything. He comes from a very narrow background, as I said, very thing. So he passed away in 2020, but till then he never knew the full story of me being gay.
How do you feel about that now? Do you feel like that was
I feel it was the right decision, just purely because I know my father. My father and I never had as a strong relationship as my mother and I have. He's still my father. He still gave me a roof, still gave me everything that a father could give. There was no love and affection, but there was a sense of duty to do for your kids. So he did that as a sense of duty and things that's good, and I will always respect him for that.
I mean, we had that similarly in my family, because my mum was weighing up whether to tell our family in India about it, and we can get to that later. Now, I do want to ask you though, before we move on, is like, how is that relationship with your mum now? Like, I know it's actually beautiful, and you're keen on doing some more traveling with your mum and things. And, you know, when she said, we love you, she meant it. And she still means it.
She still means it.
Yeah.
I think that in this case of my sexuality and my mom, I think the thing is that she still fully doesn't understand it. Like, I remember a couple of, not the last visit, the visit before I was in India, and the last day she started crying. Like, why are you crying? Like, oh, I'm worried about you all the time. I don't know what's going to happen with you, your life. I'm kind of worried. Like, you know, we've never sat and discussed about it, because I think that was after I come out, and that was my first visit that I had gone. I said, I'm happy, mom. Like, I'm really happy. If I was in India, that would be a different case. I'm in New Zealand. I have a job. I love my life. I have family. I love my family. I love my chosen family, my friends. So I'm happy and content. So I don't need to be. You don't need to worry about it. So I think that it's still a journey for her to understand and go through. I think it's kind of very Asian thing across the Asian continent, is that if we come out, your parents might accept it, but they don't want to talk about it.
Yes.
It's like it's there, they're not agreeing or disagreeing to it, but you don't talk about it, kind of a thing. My family is not to an extent that it's it's a taboo to talk about it, but it's just subconsciously they don't make a thing about it. And I'm okay with it.
I mean, I think we're like products of how we grew up and the societies we live in, and the political nature at the time. And I think that about my parents. Like, my parents, you probably consider quite liberal. However, still be really conservative views, and it shocks me sometimes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, but you've got a gay son who's married a white guy. They got a kid.
Yep.
And, you know, but you're products of like what you grew up in, and even me, you know, even in our world, like I would have different views to someone who is 20 years old and could come out when they're 14 years old or something, you know what I mean? Like, but I do firmly believe like we're all just on different journeys. We're hopefully going to the same place, but different timelines and journeys. And
so your story now?
My story now. Okay. I think I maybe thought that I was different when I was like maybe 16 years old. Okay. But I wasn't quite sure what different was. It's really hard.
It's very hard to explain.
Yeah. I still can't describe it. I still can't be, I can't literally sit here and go, oh, because I was gay, or I was about to be gay, and that's why I felt different. I guess so. I just don't know what that feeling was, but it was tinged with darkness in my life and various mental health issues and things like that. And I grew up here in Wellington and had lots of Indian friends, particularly the guys. We played hockey together, and we all fed into this like toxic male thing. And you know, and there was lots of drinking and sometimes drugs and going out partying and scoring girls and all that, and being the best hockey player and competition and all that kind of stuff. And I just look back now and I think, fuck, how stupid was that, you know? But it's a thing when you're growing up and you just want to fit in.
Things.
Yeah, and you grow up, you just have to fit in. And I think because I felt like, oh my God, I'm different. You know, at that point as I was getting older, into my 20s, I was thinking, okay, target on my back, because imagine coming out to all these people. So I just played into that, you know what I mean? Just played into it, and But I came out when I was 25, and I kind of hit rock bottom. But I wrote my parents a letter as well. I was working at Television New Zealand at the time. I was a reporter on the late night news, 10:30 p.m. news, and I wrote a letter that day before my shift. I was living with my parents, and I left it on my bed and I went to work. And I texted my mum and I said, there's a letter on my bed, can you please go and read it? So of course I was at work, she went and read it, and she sent me a text, and it said something to the effect of, I love all my kids unconditionally, no matter what you're going through, and it's my job to be here as your parent. I love you heaps, don't worry, we'll get through this. And it was an incredible text message to hear. I guess it couldn't have gone any better in terms of a response. But what was to come was also difficult. It wasn't smooth sailing. Because, like, you know, as I said to you earlier, we come to terms with things, but then those we're telling, they're just learning just like that. And my mum thinks I'm still the 6-year-old boy and 12-year-old boy that she raised.
One of my closest friend gave me an advice. He asked me a question before I came out to my parents, like, how long did it take for you to realize you're gay? Like, I was like, probably 16, 17. Okay, cool. So don't expect your parents to change around like this because you've come out to them. Because it will take them time. They might say things that you don't want to hear. But just let it go. Let the time go, and time will teach you. So
no, exactly. And we even tell ourselves things that we don't want to hear. You know, and all those the dark years. So me and my mum kind of like, we bonded over that, which was really lovely. Lots of tears, of course. And then we told my dad, and remarkably, he was pretty good. Like, I think it was really hard for him, and I don't know his full experience of what that was like. But he was the president of the Wellington Indian Association at the time. And of course, I was on the television at the time. So innately, we were quite a well-known Indian family in New Zealand, in those circles. So there was like this added pressure of trying to be like this upholding family or whatever, which is just bullshit, you know. I fucking hate that. Like having to be this thing. I mean, it's just so crappy. Yeah. Like, you know. So there was all of that. But I remember my dad said to me, you know, as a family, it's all good. We'll just get through supporting Arrun. Yeah. And we will hunker down as a family. All we have to do is be close as a family. And if we're close as a family, our small outer circle, closest outer circle, they'll wrap their support around us and their love. And then anyone else outside of that doesn't actually matter.
You did touch a little bit about your family support. Did you have your other support that you, not from your immediate family, that helped you to come out or helped you in that journey, or whether it was support or whether you also had a negative, what was that like? But
yeah, I mean, there's been some negative. Okay. You know, there's been homophobic comments. Okay. And interestingly, the homophobic comments of sometimes it's not even a comment, sometimes you can just tell. And that's sometimes been from people that are close to me. Yeah. So my friends at large are really supportive. Okay. But, you know, we're on this charity work. And I've had some really good friends that have helped me out. Yeah. You know, straight friends, allies and that. And then there's some that haven't been able to. Yeah. We've talked about this. Yeah. And I do wonder, like, I'm like, okay, if you really supported it, and the work we do, you know when we need you. We need you to march at Pride with us. We need you to turn up. That's kind of what I want. Yeah. So it's not just about acknowledging, okay, this is a rainbow person and you've lived a life, and it's like, how am I going to tell me what I can do to help you? Because you're trying to help others. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just love more people who say they're allies. Yeah. Lean into being active allies. Yeah. Not being like, oh yeah, cool, I love gay people. Fuck, they dance on tables, fun. You know? That's not what it's about. Exactly. Yeah. It's actually about the fight that we have.
Yeah. Particularly I'm talking about my coming out story, is like having a chosen family was important for me. I think because, as I said, I was prepared myself to be where my family might disown me or might not agree with my sexuality. So I was like, okay, if that happens, what do I have to? And luckily I had a good group of friends who are my chosen family who supported me throughout this, and are still supporting, including my family here in Auckland. So it was really important for me because I knew that if I fall back, I have something to fall back, and there's a network of support that's there to wrap around me and help me through this journey.
And isn't it wild? Like, because I wrote that in the letter to my parents as well. I said, if you want to disown me, I understand and I can go. And you were similar thoughts. Isn't it wild? That literally you can be in one family one day and you're prepared to leave the next. You feel like you got to make that choice, or someone's going to make it for you. Yeah. And nothing's really changed. You're still the same person. You're just different, and you're actually being your most truest, authentic self, which we should all strive towards. Yeah. But isn't it so unfortunate?
It's so unfortunate, and it's only unfortunate for our queer community because the straight community doesn't have this pressure where like yes, there's different situations and scenarios where they have to choose between the family and everything, but if you see a queer community has to constantly have this on their mind as to make that hard decision that they have to one day, if things doesn't go in their favor, it has to go, they have to make that hard decision of letting go of their family that they grew up with because their family doesn't accept the way they are. Yeah. And then for us Indian queer community, it's way extra pressure of that. Yeah. What does the extended family thinks about it? What's the society will think about it? What's the neighbor going to think about it? What's my parents' office will think about this whole situation, even though they're not really important.
No,
they're not really important. Yeah, the only important people are your family.
Well, when Jake and I got married, we had some media that wanted to do stories for our wedding. So I think a newspaper and a magazine.
Yeah.
And so we did that.
Yeah.
We didn't want to tell our story publicly. Like, we didn't have to. Like, that's our personal lives with our closest people. But we were also having a big wedding where we had 170 people. It's actually probably quite small for Indian weddings. So we did that, and I did. Why did we do that? Is the question. Why do we feel the need to be public about it? Jake's really quite introverted and quiet, and I love that about him. But we both talked about it, and we felt, look, if we can make a difference in the world by being something to other people, then why not?
Sure.
And we knew that would come with hate, on social media.
Oh, definitely.
We knew it would come with awful things. We knew our parents and families might be targeted. We knew all of these things, but we still felt the need to do it because we thought if we don't, others will find it harder to.
Sure.
And I think part of that was me having a public profile because you have to learn to have a bit of a thick skin with that, right?
Yeah.
So we're glad we did. And our wedding, we've been together for, I think, 14 years, and our wedding was 7 years ago. And then when we had our son, Nico, who we had through surrogacy, we also told our story as well. We had a journalist contact us. She's a friend of ours. And she said, hey, I've seen on your Facebook that you guys are having a baby soon. Can I follow your story? And we considered it, and we talked to our friend Lacey, who's our surrogate, and our egg donors as well. And we decided as a team, like, if we can do this, we might inspire others, either to be a rainbow family, or for surrogacy, or for egg donation, or sperm donation, or whatever that looks like, to create a beautiful, happy family. Like, how do we do that? And we trusted the journalist, and she did a fantastic job. And then a couple of others, podcasts have been in touch with us, and we've done those. And I think Lacey was on a glossy magazine, and then it was in the Daily Mail in the UK and things. And so, there's going to be hordes and hordes of people that won't like these things, but I don't care. It's about those who need it.
As you were talking about your story of like the journalist doing the story and everything, and both your wedding and Nico's coming out, obviously there was a lot of positive things. What I want to know is, like, how did you and Jake dealt with negative parts, if there was any, and how you dealt with that?
Yeah, really good question. I've got a good example of where it can be really ugly. So pre-Nico, Jake and I, because my parents gave me and us the confidence to be ourselves, particularly in the Indian community here, we could just do that.
Yeah.
And we did just do that. So we'd go to the Indian weddings, the funerals, the engagements there. We would just do that. And we would be there as a couple.
Yeah.
And isn't it interesting, when people actually get to know you, they figure out there's nothing much wrong. It takes them a long time to process that in their heads, but when it happens, these guys are just two dudes, like whatever. So we would just be out there doing our thing. And then when Nico came along, we were like, we're not hiding our kid behind our front door. We're gonna go for walks around Oriental Bay as two dads. We're going to go to the Indian Hall as two dads, and Nico's going to come. Sometimes he wears a kafni, like a little Indian outfit, and it's the most adorable thing you'll ever see. And we just will need to be able to thrive as a couple and as parents, and we need people's support. So we just go about our and do our thing. Now that's the thick skin part, because. And to your question, there will be things that people say about us.
Yeah.
We know that. People will judge us. They'll think it's wrong. Two men shouldn't have kids. What did Aaron's parents do to raise him this way?
Yeah.
All of that stuff. But I think, you know what? I am so happy and comfortable with my life and the people around me. You're one of them. I'm so happy with that. That all of that stuff is just noise.
Exactly.
It's noise in the background that I don't need to listen to or worry about.
Yeah.
Because it's going to really, it's going to cloud my judgment of who I am. And life is stressful enough trying to toilet train a 3-year-old. he's actually doing pretty well now. But you know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's my stress.
Yeah.
You know, weeing himself at daycare, that's my stress.
Exactly.
Not people that I don't know and I don't actually really care about. But hey, if those people want to catch up and be like, hey, what's life like for you? And, you know, I'll happily talk to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if they want to learn, but if they're going to be ugly about it, no, thank you. But I did have a recent experience, which I'm not going to go into full detail on because I don't want to, but you know about it. I got some horrible hate mail around my sexuality.
Yeah.
And it was awful hate mail. Yeah. And it's probably a hate crime because I've looked into it. Yeah. And it was extremely upsetting. And I think just seeing it and reading it visibly and it was tangible, really hit me hard. And, you know, Sam, you say, oh, you're so bloody confident and all this kind of stuff, and you talk about your life. That hit me really hard. I slipped into depression. I've had depression previously. I slipped back into that. I couldn't function the day after. My body was drained of energy. I had to sleep. I was getting headaches, and I just couldn't shake the horror in my head. So, yeah, that's been a real challenge for me recently, and it's probably taken me about. No, actually, I'm not saying I'm over it. I'm not saying I'm comfortable with it. Yeah. I'm deeply disturbed by it. Oh, I just have some confidence to talk about it now. Yeah. But I think to your question, a lot of the surface level negative stuff I can just, it's like water off a duck's back. Yeah. But then there's some real concerted, calculated efforts like that. Yeah. And they hit hard. Yeah. Because they're inhumane. They're not nice.
The way it was returned, it was inhumane. It was like,
have you had situations, Sam, where you've faced negative things?
Personally, I haven't gone to that negative experience yet. I think one of the reasons is because I'm not fully out to the extended family or extended thing in India. Like, you know, if they come to know, then that floodgates will open. So, to answer your question, probably not at this stage, but I'm not saying that it's never going to not happen. And if it happens, it will just have to be see the situation and what the context is and how it is,
and know that we have people like me and others to support. Yep. And this is to your point that you just made earlier, Sam. Was like for those people who aren't equipped, to deal with this negative stuff. Because why should you actually ever have to be equipped to defend yourself? Yes. You know, you shouldn't have to be, but sometimes you get fight mode. Yeah. And so the point here, I think, is while we might be able to handle situations,
not everyone can.
Not everyone can. Yeah. And it can slip people into things like depression or suicidality, or other things like alcohol abuse and drug abuse or problem gambling, or, you know, finding other means which are really kind of impactful and negative on their lives. And so that comes back to the work we do, right? In our charity, is that people need to be able to thrive and be their best, happiest, authentic selves. So the fight will be there forever, I think.
Yeah, we've been talking about our charity stuff, which, well, you started. I've just been helping.
Wait, stop. No, it was not I didn't. Others started it too, but also not this just I'm just helping. You're changing the world. This is not a I'm helping thing. Like, you are a board member, you are the family, you are sometimes the glue that holds us together when we need it. Man, you're a lot more than just helping.
Okay. This charity, I know you initially started it as Wellington Indian Rainbow thing. What was your main reason to start that?
Yeah, good question. Well, you know, I just didn't know anyone that was from the rainbow community in Indian. I didn't. There was a friend of mine when I was living in London, and his name's Assad, and he is gay, Indian, Muslim. And we're great friends. We would go out partying and we would just always say, where the fuck have you been all my life? Because like while we lived in these gay circles or rainbow circles and whether it's partying or just hanging out, whatever, I just found no real spiritual or cultural connection to my rainbow self because I couldn't, because I didn't know anybody else. And I was like, am I the only one in the world? No. So when I met my friend Assad, I mean, we just clicked just like that. And he's doing incredible things in London with the Indian community and the Muslim community and diversity in general. Came back to New Zealand after we lived overseas for 5 years, and I was marching with a government department in Wellington. Jake was also marching with his work in the Wellington, Pride Parade. Yeah. And I just looked around and I was like, there's government departments and organisations and whatever. And I thought, where are all the brown people or coloured people? But where are they all? They're there. And I was like, there is no visibility. There's no cultural groups. There's nothing. I think the Dutch embassy that year was running one, which was great. But other than that, and I just was really perplexed by that. And I thought, what are we actually doing as society to help change this? What are we doing to help create visibility? So I thought about it. I talked to my family and I said, I want to go and ask the local Indian association here, which my dad had previously been the president of. We'd been well known in the community, all these things. And so I took a friend with me, and she was a really good support. And I'd often kind of been out speaking about my life and things like that for raising awareness. But I was really nervous at this particular speaking engagement because I sat with the executive committee and I had to talk to them about my life and the reasons for my being and what life was like for my family, and then tell them that they should be doing something more. And I was so nervous. And there were some really hard questions or thoughts that they had, like, oh, well, how many people are you talking about? So, well, I don't know. I mean, there's clear reasons for non-disclosure. That's an issue in itself. Yeah. And things like, well, we're actually not, we're not an exclusive society. We don't say anything about who can come and who can't come. I'm like, yeah, but by way of omission, you do exclude. Yeah. You know what I mean? When you're not visible and including people who are more marginalised. Some really tricky questions, and they were a bit upsetting, but I just got through and I actually fumbled through speaking, and I was shaking a bit. I don't usually shake. I'm usually a pretty confident speaker, but I think when you have to all of a sudden feel like you're fighting for something that is in your blood, in your veins, in your entire being, and you know that something's at stake for others, then it means more, and it can be harder. So I did that, and it was kind of quite glassy faces, cold faces, and that was pretty challenging. But then I got an email a few days later saying, hey, actually, from a couple of people here, we really like your idea. What is it that you want to do? We'll help you to start it. And so it started as Wellington Indian Pride, and we held speaking engagements. Speak a full circle. My parents did speaking engagements. They filmed a video. I got a video filmed of like lived experiences, and so they were interviewed for that, which is really cool. And we did some filming with me and Jake and Mum and Dad, which was really nice. And then we took my Mum and Dad to the Wellington Indian Hall, and we did a speaking engagement for about an hour in front of all of their peers. I mean, there was a couple of hundred people there, and they were kind of speaking back to the community, and they were speaking back to the community that we were so fearful of as to how they would treat us as a family. I was really proud of my parents for that. And it's a really nice legacy to live. My dad passed away recently, and so I think of the ways he's helped me in his, you talked about it earlier, that kind of staunch Indian father kind of way, and that was one of them. And I think about him being able to do that. Yeah. And his key message was just love your kids no matter who they are. No matter what path they choose, love your kids, because you will only get one shot with them. So that was Wellington Indian Pride. And then our friend Shay, he was looking at starting something in Auckland, and he'd done a bit of background work and things like that. And we connected on LinkedIn, and we ended up having a coffee in Auckland, and we were like, we just vibed with each other and like, let's do this. So we decided to create this national organisation, and we pulled together like a launch board. So we decided to launch in Parliament, and we thought, you were part of this. We were like, why not? We're like as niche can be, but we were like, let's take it to the seat of power in our country, and let's get some MPs on board, minister on board. I mean, the Deputy Prime Minister was there, and look where we are now.
I know. Still,
how are you finding it?
Oh, I'm so proud of what we've done so far from that day to now where we are at. I moved here, as I said, 15 years ago, and I love my Indian group, but majority of my Indian friends are straight. So I've always found wider group of friends who are non-Indians. Predominantly my closest friends are non-Indian gay friends. And I'll admit, in the beginning, I was running away from being Indian and gay because I was in a predominantly a white-dominated gay world, and I'm not saying it in a bad way or victimizing either parties. When I came here, the cultural shock was, as soon as I'm chatting with some random people on social media, and then suddenly they ask, "Oh, where are you from?" "I'm from India," and then next minute it's silence. It's either they ghosted you or either they blocked you, kind of thing. So that was in the beginning. So instead of owning the fact, I chose the path where like, oh, I want to get away from this attachment of being Indian kind of. So I wanted to get more friends who are like, outside my culture and everything. So it went on, and then as I grew older, I started to realize like, why am I running away from being who I am? And that's my race and my identity, my individuality. Just, you know what, I'm gonna wear it on my sleeves and be proud of it rather than run away from it. And I knew Shay through my common friends, my closest friends. So we met and everything, and then Shay said, "Hey, I'm creating this organization, we're going to launch it, and I thought you would be right fit for it to come, to volunteer for something because you have events background, want some event help, would you like to come and help with this?" "Oh, I would love to." So that's how I got involved, and I think it was dear and near for me for I think we quite often say this in our meetings and in our discussions, is like the key thing is visibility. If you're not visible, then people don't realize that we do exist, because up until now we always existed but no one realized that we exist.
And then I think also some of it has to do with visibility, but the next step is perhaps inclusion. I'll give you an example. Like me and Jake, we lived in London, and you'd go out partying in London and great bars and things, but really predominantly white people. And I just noticed the way Jake would get treated differently. You treated differently by the bouncers. Treated differently by the bar staff. Sometimes I just could not get a drink. One bar in London, it took me so long to get a drink. All these people coming, and getting drinks, and I couldn't work it out. And I just, the only thing I could think of is my skin color. Was being different to everybody else. So I said to the bar staff, I said, I just have not been served here. Everyone else is getting served. And I said, is this a race thing? Wow, I had 4 bartenders at me trying to serve me because I'd said that. And I just thought, well, I don't even know why I got pushed to the point of saying that. Now, it may well not have been a race thing. I have nothing else to go on.
But subconsciously, it might be.
It's just that being treated differently because of who you are. But that extends into our lives now. So, for example, when we book an Airbnb, if we go on a holiday somewhere in a small town, we book an Airbnb, we don't use my name. We use Jake's name because he's got a European name. When we usually email about something that's, I don't know, something that we need to sort out or whatever, we use Jake's email because we feel like it's going to be taken more seriously than my name, which has got so-called foreign spelling. So it extends into that as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So we like actively will push Jake out as the public face of our relationship sometimes if we feel like that's more beneficial, because he will get treated differently to an Indian.
And how do you feel about that?
It's disgusting. It's really sad.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. But I think that's the way we're all programmed.
Yeah. Like, I've been party scene for a long time. I've experienced, and I still experience this as well. Between me and my friends, who are predominantly white and non-Indian, they get picked over me.
Yeah.
I can't see any other reason than a race. And I know in New Zealand community, gay community is so small, but it has been so many instances where my non-Indian friends have got picked over. And I'm not against it, nothing. It's life. Everyone has preference and everyone has things, but it's constant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had a different experience in Melbourne than a different experience in New Zealand.
What were the two different experiences?
In Melbourne, my race was not an issue for me.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone was friendly. I was reached out, talked to, spoken to, and got connected because for me, who I am, kind of thing. Whereas in New Zealand, I literally came back, and then a couple of months later, I went to a party, and then like, holy fuck, there's such a drastic change. Like, it's, no one wants to talk. Like, yes, I know everyone and have things, but there wasn't that need and connection and wanting to. Yes, your friends were there, but others wasn't there. So it's like, oh, again, how do I say it? Because Sydney is different. Sydney has always been race Indian in the bottom of the pecking order, or at least I've made feel like that in Sydney when I went to World Pride. So it's a constant battle for me. It's like, you know.
I was going to ask you what the impacts are on you, how you feel.
I'm aware of that fact, but it doesn't bother me a lot. Because for me, when I go out and everything, I go with the focus and the mindset is that I'm going with my group of friends. And it took me years to get to that mindset. And it's like, no, I'm going with my friends. I'm going to have a great time with my friends. I do like to connect and like to introduce, and particularly if it's my brown friends, brown people, I'll make sure that I introduce a person of color to other friends and everything. It's just to make a point that they're visible, they're there, they're included. You know,
that's exactly the journey, right?
Yeah.
It's like we know what it's like, so we're going to raise others up. If there's a ladder, we're pulling people up on the ladder.
So my point is to go out, have a good time with my friends. I'll connect. If you respond, we'll connect, we'll have a good time. And if you don't give me a good response, why waste my time and energy on you? So that's my mindset of going out and about. Is like,
I have such anxiety to hearing about this, because I feel like, and people go, oh, why is it an issue? And why?
Don't tell me.
Why do you have this charity? And why do you? It's because of these are the reasons. Because we are made to feel lesser than. How do you live life feeling lesser than? You know, it's so detrimental. And then it factors down to the generations below us as well. I mean, there's no surprise here. This country, New Zealand, was colonized. Our country, India, was colonized. It's happened all over the world, and always made to feel lesser than. And then this is one more example that actually hits close to home. The gay community, people go, oh, you're so fucking happy, rainbows and glitter bombs and everything and unicorns.
Oh, we're the worst. We're the worst for our own community.
We are. It's good if we want to feel like part of a group, like the LGBTQIA plus, whatever, wherever you fit. But equally, we can be really judgmental. And there's kind of different types of it. There's judgmental in a self-deprecating and humorous way, like I'll call you a slag every time I see you, but it's because I love you. But then there is the stuff where actually it's like, oh well, you're not 6 foot, you're not white, you don't have abs.
Yeah.
So you're nothing. Like I don't need you for anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't need to be seen. I don't need you with you. I don't need to be seen with you.
I think it's more so I don't need to be seen with you.
Yeah. That's why it's so important that we raise people up. If you see somebody that is doing it tougher than you, if you see somebody that is more marginalized than you are, if they have an experience and you've had that before, that you can raise them up wherever you can, because they just might need that boost. And the flip side of that is no one raises them up.
Yeah.
No one supports them. And then their lives, they feel invisible.
Yeah.
They sometimes feel like their life isn't worth living. Like that is the sadness in it all.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we can change that.
One of our friends told me the story that someone else had told him is that at the party, this person goes and specifically says hi to a person of color. Okay. If there's a person of color, they'll make an extra effort to go and say hi and everything. And my friend asked him, why do you do this? Because you always come and say hi to me. And my friend is also Indian. He said, his response was like, babe, I need to do this for people of color because white folks get always attention, and irrespective of what happens, they will get attention. But person of color might not get the same or any attention. So it's about just acknowledging the fact that and saying hi, hello is a lot for me to do it my way of making sure that person is being inclusive kind of thing. And I'm like, and my friend started doing that, and he told me that, and ever since it's in my conscious mind, it's like, even if it's just saying hi, hello, like, we might not interact for the whole night and everything, but just a quick hi, hello would change.
That's like an action focused example of what somebody can do.
Yeah.
How hard is that?
I know.
Everyone that's listening, do that,
Exactly.
So I'm quite interested, Sam, like we talked about a little bit of my perspective being Indian growing up here in New Zealand. But like, what is it like growing up gay in India, maybe then versus now for you?
Okay.
I mean, I'm really interested. So I give you my perception.
Okay.
So my perception is probably something like, it's really conservative. Maybe there's little pockets and elements, but hugely conservative, traditional, family rules the roost, and people can't be themselves.
Yeah.
And that a lot has to happen in the shadows.
Okay, cool.
And don't get me wrong, that for me is all disturbing stuff.
Yeah.
But tell me what the reality is like.
To some extent, that's still a reality. To some extent, not totality. Okay. I've been living away from India for 15 and a half years. So things have changed. My personal experience, I'll tell, when I was living in India. Back then, well, it was all under the behind the curtains kind of a situation. So it was illegal to be gay. You couldn't, though there's a huge population of gay and rebel community within India, it was still illegal to be gay. In that bachelor's time, I only came out to 2 people, and one is one of my closest friends.
I was going to say, did they go okay?
They went fine. One of responded, don't do anything to me. It's like, why am I doing anything to you?
That's a thing, eh? Yeah. I remember, sorry to interject. I remember when I came out to straight male friends, and they were like, some were like, do you find me attractive, or do you want to do anything, like, I hope you're not going to try and do anything to me. Like we're predators.
Exactly, right?
It's like, I'm like, honey. different flavor, sorry.
Just because we're gay, we're not all the time sexually, yeah. So that was the thing. So I started exploring. I started to meet Europeans, because Goa was full of European visitors. So that's why I explored my sexuality and trying to come out. And I'll go a bit further back to that, as like when I was in high school and everything, kind of realized what it was. So I used to like boys, but I was not. And as I said, I was predominantly bullied for spending more time with girls than the guys. It was there, but I never knew what it was. And then when I realized in bachelor's degree, like, holy fuck, there's this whole terminology called homosexuality, gays, everything, and that's when I explored. And then when I moved here, that's where I started to really explore myself and who I am and be true to myself. Back then, it was just, as I said, under the radar, behind the curtains. A lot of things has to be done. Be aware of it. Like, you are constantly on this nervous feeling of being caught or something going wrong, kind of a thing. Then I think 2014 or 17, I think probably it must be 17, that I went back to India for a friend's wedding, my closest friend. And then I went, I usually stop in Mumbai for a night before I go to my hometown. I went to this club, which is not openly considered a gay club, but it's a club where there's drag performances nowadays, and Indian drag performances. And I went and I was like, holy hell, like, this is so amazing to see. This was nothing there when I was, and I trained in the same hotel. I was in the same hotel, trained, and I was staying in that hotel. I wanted to go back as a guest rather than a trainee because I worked my ass off in that hotel. And this hotel had a club, like, and it's still there. And to see that there's a drag performance, performing, like, living the authentic life, still not openly accepted, but it's changed. So majority of cities are like bigger cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Ahmedabad, or Bengaluru, Kolkata. They all have kind of evolved in terms of acceptance, and there's still that societal thing about not fully accepting, but more and more people are coming out and open about their sexuality. And again, as in this pride parades happens that in different cities locally, so which is great to see. So definitely things have changed, but it's not 100% there.
Well, we went to India at just this Christmas past, and we went with my mum and my siblings, and me, Jake, and Nico went. So, like, you know, a homosexual couple, one of them is white. Yeah. They have a child.
Yeah. How was that full on experience?
I'm not going to lie, it was a bit terrifying. You know, because, like, you're searching for hotels, say in Mumbai, and there are hotels that will say no same-sex couple. Yeah. No, I think they can't remember the wording. But even heterosexual couples, sometimes it says you must present a marriage certificate.
Yeah.
So, like, that's really scary for us. And I think we took our wedding rings off, Jake and I. So it was a bit unsettling. And then to have a child as well. I mean, the protection that we felt we had was my mum was with us, and she speaks the language, which helps. And it was actually fine. But one of the more interesting things is that we took Nico for the first time to my family village. So in India, we live in Gujarat. We're from Gujarat, but we're from, like, really small farming villages, like really small. You know, it's like dirt, mud tracks and things like that, you know. And so my parents, a few years back, they told them about Jake and I, and they showed photos of our wedding. And there was an element of let's shroud it in secrecy, like let's keep it secret and we won't tell anyone, which is kind of fine because I don't know the society over there. I don't know what's dangerous and what's not dangerous, and you just have to protect yourself. But they were really amazing, and they said to these are like second aunties and uncles and cousins, and they said to my parents, it's all good, that's fine, you know. So we went this time, and they just treated Jake like he was a member of the family. Not only did we take Jake and Nico, we took Jake's dad, who is Pakeha guy from grew up in a dairy farming background here in New Zealand, in small town New Zealand, actually, rural New Zealand. And it was all just really beautiful because we just felt like part of the family, and we weren't either treated differently or looked down upon. In fact, you know, India being India, unfortunately, because we were men, we were treated really well. You know what I mean? you know, it was really wonderful that even though, you know, Nico has 2 dads, my relatives over there just took Nico in like any kid, any kid. And they were like picking him up and kissing him and feeding him all of the food and, you know, telling him off where he needed to be told off and then sending him off to play with the kids and then put him on the back of the motorcycle without a helmet and drive him around the fields. And I'm going, oh my God, is my child going to survive? Do we have travel insurance? You know? But that's the experience that I wanted. Yeah. And I was really fearful of what that might be. And it's not that I think that anyone in my family there is devious. It's those on the outside.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of people going, you know, like their neighbours or the neighbours saying, oh, who does that belong to? Or where's his mum?
Yeah.
And so I said to my mum, just tell them my wife's in New Zealand. She didn't come. So I'm here for like a little bit of time, 2 weeks. I don't want to deal with whatever they think. And I don't know how people will react when they don't like it. Yeah. So that was our experience of, you know, it's kind of like almost like a opposite of that big city life.
Yeah, it is
small
farmer life. Yeah. We migrants have like a whole different experience. We come for a better hope. At least I'm giving you my example. I came for a better hope, and which I am lucky enough. I have got this life any migrant could ask for. But we go through a different journey as well, because when we come here, it's a different journey, different struggles. A lot of people on the other side might not realize or might think it's easy once you go across the...
Yeah. But you know, there's this horrible mentality where people go, well, you're here in New Zealand now, you should just be grateful.
Exactly.
And it's like, nah, fuck you.
Exactly.
You know, like, no, I'm sorry. Like, it grates on me. Like, you should be grateful that we're giving you this land of milk and honey. And it's like, no.
But I put same equal amount of effort as you do, or if not more.
If not more, because you feel like you got to work harder.
Exactly. We need to always push harder.
Yeah.
Prove that.
Not push the boundaries because you don't want to upset anyone or you don't want to feel like you're going to alienate yourself to some degree.
And that's why our charity is going to be the key for those migrant community, particularly from our Indian community framework people, is that you're not alone. If you're feeling alone, come and talk to us, because we are here for you. And we might not be the perfect solution for you, but at least we will direct you. I'm pretty sure amongst us have lived similar experience in one form or the other way. So we'll talk to you and we'll connect you to the support you need or the response that you need.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it's nice to talk with you. It's been beautiful. It's been love you, but you too. Yeah. I look forward to more of these chats, and I look forward to more work with you, because like we have these common goals.
Yeah.
And we are just hankering to do more, to support more people, and one day we might not have to, and others will take on the legacy.
Or we don't need our charity.
Yes, that's the goal.
That would be my dream.
Yeah. Well, I'll dream that with you.
Awesome. This went beyond my expectations. We had a lot of good conversations.
Yeah. I think the framework was really good, because I think you definitely know us.
Yeah.
Because your framework, I mean, I didn't even think too hard about the framework, and then I was like, wow, you wrote everything that we just wanted to talk about anyway.
What advice would you give for a future queer?
Follow the light. Sometimes things will be dim and dark, but the more you can go to the light and seek the light out in your life and away from the darkness, the brighter it will burn. And sometimes light is calling each other a slut or a slag. But sometimes it's sitting here with a glass of wine and pouring out our hearts to each other because something's just not right, and we need to work with each other to...
As a queer brown kid, don't run away from your roots. I did that. But as you grow older and wiser, you realize that's the most important part of your life. That's your true identity. Embrace it. Wish we had those advice for when we were growing up.
When a song comes on that I really love, particularly when I'm with Nico, I will dance in the lounge and I will sing. I can't sing. You've seen Modern Family, you know, the couple, Cam and Mitch.
Yeah.
I'm Cam.
What makes you feel the sexiest?
Oh, my negligee.